How's it going, everyone? My name is Theron, and welcome to the 1 year channel anniversary. I know I've been posting so many videos for an entire year now, and I figured I would commemorate it with a plus 10 Barracks tour. Now, a few things to keep in mind. One, not all of these builds are the best, I would say. There's still a few tweaks here and there that I want to change, but these are still, like, my builds that I thought of, so please don't criticize them too harshly. So without further ado, let us start with the OG himself, Marth. Now, yeah, you can already see it's a bit of a weird kit. I'm trying to make him a speedy dragon counter, but I mean, it works. It's just not the best, I would say. And I'd also say that the Falchions Refine is kinda crap. Other than that, he doesn't really need, what's the skill I'm looking for? Mystic Boost, that's the one. He doesn't need that because his defense and res stats is just a 6-point difference, so all I did was just give him both res wave skills and, I mean, there we go. However, everything else about his kit needs a complete overhaul, and I'm thinking of just giving him a base speed boost instead of this weapon refine because, yeah, it's not the best. Still needs some work, but I like it. Now, in terms of units that I do like and their builds, we have the Black Knight. This one, I knew from the beginning what I wanted to give him and how it was going to go. Just make him a living wall, and that was about it. And thanks to his weapon refine recently, Special Fighter now triggers Black Luna right when he gets attacked on enemy phase. So he can just proc it as a counterattack and deal a crap ton of damage. Easily one of my favorite units. And then of course, Panic Smoke here just for, take less damage in case he fights multiple enemies one after the next. Wish I spoke English. Next up for the swords, we have Sita, and this is kind of like a normal kit that you'd see for her. Wing sword with the weapon refine, Swift Sparrow, and then just fill in the rest here and there. Speed defense rain definitely helps, and especially chill speed helps with her weapon refine, especially since she's one of only 2 flying units that can use Flashing Blade. Everybody else, they just don't get that, which is dumb, but yeah, sure. And then Guard Bearing 3, just to help with her survivability. Sorry if I'm not speaking plain English here. I'm recording this a little early. Only dragon I have, and probably the easier of the red dragons to plus 10, we got Adult Tiki. Like I said, this build needs a bit of work. Quick Riposte can help at times, but 28 speed, not gonna double a lot of people. It is mainly a defensive build, excuse me, so she does have that going for her. Aether just to help with her survivability, and, I mean, close defense just to round off all of it. I'm not a big fan of the main Breath of Fog Refine, so I just gave her the res one to help with this, which is, again, not great, but still decent. First up in the tomes, we have Sophia, and yes, I did plus 10 her just because of her resplendent art. I know that's a stupid reason, but it's the same reason I'm gonna plus 10 a Crom, so hey. Again, similar reason as Tiki, especially with Quick Riposte. I think I might be getting the effect wrong in there, but she can't double a lot, but at least with a follow-up attack, she can deal counterattack, she can deal a good amount of damage. Mainly defensive with, her weapon refine. I just wish its base effect wasn't the triangle adept. That's what I was looking for. Other than that, pretty solid. I don't use her too much, but hey, if I ever need a mage, she's here. Next up we have Urk, and for the reasons that I use Sophia, it's... Oh, wait, that's not what I'm trying to say here. Sophia is the defensive mage, Urk is the offensive mage. That's what I was trying to say. God, my brain is not working today. I'm sorry. I mean, just basic Roar Fox, Flashing Blade, no follow-up. Gets rid of any armors with Wary Fighter, and he can just deal a lot of damage with Moonbow. Absolutely love it. I'd definitely say he's a must to plus 10, especially for some free-to-play counts. He's a really solid mage. First up in the blues, we have, of course, Azura, obviously. I love Azura. Fun little fact, a VTuber, BA Radiant Dawn, he does his own, I guess, rival remains? He calls it Co-op Conquest, just to differentiate the two. I appeared in his recent one, and this is the exact Azura I brought along to it. Minus, like, a couple of dragon flowers, but still, exact same Azura. And Kit, it's basically designed to give her a lot of attack and speed, and a little bit of defense. Flashing Blade definitely helps her trigger Aether more, and, you know, just no follow-up because she's gonna outspeed a couple of units. Might as well make a counterattack while you still can. I absolutely love this build. But it has gone through a lot of changes. Let me just guide off. There we go. Here are all of these skills that I've given her. And I'm gonna go slow so you can see just how much I have given her. Nearly there. Almost to the B skills. There we go. Almost. Yeah, it's gone through a lot of changes. And I don't regret a single second of it. For blue armors, we have Winter Hilda, one of the few seasonals you'll actually see in here. This, I think it's a pretty standard kit for her. A lot of people tend to give her either a Slain Lance or the Flowing Lance from Pirate Geese. But Candy Cane Plus is still really solid for her. Other than that, I have seen her with, I think it's Armor Stride? I think that's the skill that I've seen. But other than that, this is just like a basic kit for her. Survivability, counter at distance, the usual for an armor unit. You see this everywhere. Next up, a really good blue lance for a lot of free-to-play players, Cordelia. I know a lot of people run Fire Sweep Lance. I would argue that her PRF is much better than that, by a long shot, because she can double and at times quad more effectively than with the Fire Sweep Lance. So Sparrow, see that everywhere, hit and run, that's common for her. Aether, you can swap that out with Gale Force, she does come with that standard if you want to do more tactics with that. Excuse me. Then Heavy Blade in the Sacred Seal slot, and I mean, you're good to go with the Corgi. But the only thing I would change is her C skill for like a rain, but I just need to make sure I have the fodder for that. Other than that, she's used in almost every single game mode I have. Or at least the ones I play. Brain, please work just this once. Next up, female Corin, who, yeah, I supported her with Tiki. I don't regret that. She's more like Tiki, but she can counter at a distance, and has a bit more speed. Basically, wherever Tiki lacks, Corin helps pick up the pace with her kit. And then Infantry Breath to help Tiki with her Aether skill. You know, pretty good. A few things I would change in here, but I would need the fodder for it. Next up we have the Princess of Peerless Beauty, La Rochelle. Gonna be honest, her refinement was interesting. It does counter the damage dealt from a push skill, that I do like. It's just not what I expected, or at least what anybody expected, but it's still really solid. However, one of the previous skills I gave her, where was it? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, look at that. With Life and Death, she gets 61 attack. I am very tempted to keep this on her, but I like the attack speed push a bit more. Other than that, yeah, just... She doesn't have a lot of speed, so a lull skill is good for her, and I might change this to Speed Smoke, just for, the same thing. She doesn't have a lot of speed. She really needs that. Next up, more Azuras. We have Legendary Azura. This one has gone through the most changes in terms of kit. I've given her Swiss Sparrow 3, Aerobatics... Oh, god, that... Sorry about that. Actually, let me just scroll through them. And that's Swiss Sparrow, Flyer Formation, Aerobatics, and... yeah, Air Orders. I've given her a lot of skills to help her with a lot of different teams. But recently, I've just landed on Attack Speed Solo and Attack Res Far Trace with an Odd Attack Wave. I don't know what to give her for a Sacred Seal, but even so, this is my favorite build that I've given for her, and I would not change a single thing about this. Back-to-back Azuras, we have Performing Arts Azura. She took the longest time to plus 10. We'll have a story on that soon. This is actually a sort of an alternate build to something Z Shadow, another Feytuber, has done. In his showcase, he gave her Iceberg, Fury, and I think it's Speed Reslink. I think that's the one. I don't like using Fury, I'm going to say that right now. The recoil damage, it's a little tricky to try and heal that back up, especially when I use these units a lot, so I don't always give them a Fury skill. So I just swapped that out for Distant Counter because much better. Absolutely love it. Actually, I do... No, that's not that. Not that one either. Yeah, there it is. I did give her Speed Res Link just because... I mean, it's still good for her. But I use this build way more often. Taking a break from the Azuras, we have Titania. This is what I mean by interesting builds. Normally people give her Attack Speed Solo and I think a Kanto or something. I've gone completely in the opposite direction and made her a defensive/offensive build. Mainly focusing on her speed and defense, combined with the Plegian Axe. All I have to do is just send her out into the field, and she can tank most of the hits. It just, again, 31 defense, plus a lot of these buffs. Not the best, but it can still definitely work. She's also part of my main cavalry team, along with La Rochelle, so yeah, I use her a lot. Excuse me. My most recent plus 10 is Shersh, or Shershi, however you pronounce her name. Normal builds I've seen for her is Deathblow 4, but she already has like near 60 attack, so I decided to go with Heavy Blade for Chill Defense, and it's just, after 2 hits, Dragon Fang is fully procced. Absolutely love it. Other than that, this is like a standard kit for her. Weapon Refine, Attack Smoke, you're basically good for that. And for free-to-play options, you can go with Heavy Blade 3, and she will still shine. Absolutely solid unit. Back to the Azuras. This time with New Year's Azura. And yes, this is a build that I thought of. I know, it's a little weird, but I am trying to make all the Azuras good. That's why you see Attacker Spar Trace. We have Distant Counter, Ruptured Sky. We have freaking Aether on normal Azura. I'm trying to make them good, and for New Year's, this is the best that I could think of. Pegasus Flight, Speed Defense Rain all work really well with the Plesian Axe. They just work super well. She is a little bit offensive because of Swift Sparrow, but even so, she is one of my favorite flying units to use in any game mode. Oh boy, Inigo. Yes, I sound disappointed for a reason. Remember what I said about Performing Arts Azura taking a while to +10? He's why.
A dance?
Shut
just
up.
for...
No, I do not want to hear you talk. You know what you did. In the amount of time it took me to get the 11 required Performing Arts Azuras to get her to +10, this moron showed up 14 times. I'm gonna say that again. 14 Inigos pity broke me as I was trying to get Azura. I am so unhappy with him. I like Inigo. I will say that right now. He's a good character. But him showing up 14 times just made me have a grudge against him. So he sits in the barracks collecting dust with the worst build you will ever see, ever. I do not use him, ever. And he knows what he's done. Now in terms of tome units that I do use, Young Azura. This is strictly a defensive build, or I guess enemy phase build, I should say. All designed around her staying close to her allies, and if you add up all of her skills, Weapon, A, C, and Sacred Seal, she gets a +20 to her attack and res. Absolutely love it. This was planned out, actually. I knew what I wanted for her and what skills I wanted to give her. Even Special Spiral. I wanted to give that to an Azura. Here we go. Coming up on the last few units, we have my enemy phase archer, Norn. I do see a lot of builds where she has, like, distant counter in the A skill. She already has that in the guard bow, so I figured I'd do something different and give her bracing stance. And my god, does she tank a lot of hits. Quick riposte, she basically doubles on counterattacks. Love it. And attack smoke just helps her survivability, along with deflect missile. Really solid unit, tanks a lot of ranged hits. Would not change a thing about her kit. Now in terms of player phase bow units, we have Klein. Now he is nowhere near Shinon levels of good. Remember, Shinon is like the god tier archer, followed by all the Claudes. But Klein I would definitely give second place to. He actually impressed me during Rooker Sieges, where he's the reason I was able to get these Rooker Remnant accessories. After that, I basically made him a mandatory +10 project, and I absolutely love sending him out into the battlefield. One of my most used archers, along with Norn. Matthew. Matthew. I'm not disappointed in this. It's just... I really wasn't supposed to +10 him. Now why is he +10, you ask? Well, on the debut banner... What the hell is that? I am very sorry for that. On the debut banner for Layla, I tweeted out to Glitter Valkyrie that if I summoned Layla, I would 5-star +10 a Matthew. Guess what happened? Unfortunately, this was the best build I could think of for him. It definitely needs an overhaul. That much is certain. It just is. I have nothing else to say. I want to make him good. I can't think of anything else. Same reason for Crania. Now with her, I +10'd her just because of her PRF. I really like its effect, with the whole, if foe has taken any damage, she basically gets to counterattack right off the bat. Built-in bandage, love it. And then of course, close counter combined with that, she can just shred through any enemies so long as they've taken damage. Again, I still need to change some things on this to make her good, and I know previously she was like, oh, she's gonna be used in Aether Raids a lot. Yeah, I don't play Aether Raids too much, and she doesn't ever see the battlefield, so I gotta think of something different. And last but certainly not least, my other favorite Fates character, Sakura. Now, staff units, there's only so much you can do with them. So for her, this was a challenge and a half. But I basically went with a more supportive offensive build. Flash Plus, Wrathful Staff, and Savage Blow all just combined together to make her a decent support unit that allows her allies to attack the enemies more without being counterattacked. That's the best way I can say this. I just really wish she would either get a Resplendent ult or her own PRF, because, I mean, we need more staff PRFs. They've only given us 3. Something needs to change. And yeah, with that, those are all the plus 10s I have. Not a lot, because I started doing this a little late, but I mean, I'm proud of a lot of these builds, except for Nigo, he sucks. But that basically about does it for this video. Let me know in the comments which of these builds was either the most interesting or probably your favorite build that you've seen. If I had to pick my favorites, I mean, obviously the Azuras, always. Black Knight and my Sakura builds are also up there. I just put the most thought and care into them, and I absolutely love it. But with that, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Wait, what am I supposed to... God, I just had a brain fart right then and there. Hang on. That's what it was. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. But with that, I'm Theron, saying farewell, and game on. That was a very scuffed outro. I'm sorry.